Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor S.P. Singh from Faculty of Management Studies, Gurukul Kangdi University, Haridwar. Today we are going to study Module 37 on Discipline and Disciplinary Action. Friends, after studying this module, you shall be able to know the concept of discipline, understand the significance of discipline, enumerate objectives of discipline, become aware of the causes of indiscipline, know the discipline problems, enumerate the disciplinary actions, list the steps in disciplinary action, understand the guidelines in administering discipline. In an organization, discipline means a situation when employees behave in accordance with the organization's rules and standards of acceptable behavior. For the most part, employees discipline themselves and conform with proper behavior because they believe it is the right thing to do. The employees, once made aware of expected behavior, they find these standards or rules to be reasonable and they seek to meet those expectations. Discipline also means orderliness in the military circle. The term discipline is synonymous with regimentation in the industrial context. It means working and behaving in a normal and orderly way, as any reasonable person expects an employee to do. It is as much a basic necessity for the people working in a plant as in other segments of the society. Orderly behavior is necessary for achieving the organization's objective. In the absence of discipline, no enterprise would prosper. If discipline is necessary, even in a nuclear family or in a homogeneous unit, how can an industrial organization with heterogeneous people work smoothly without discipline? When an employee is at fault, the management has to take disciplinary action. Discipline is said to be good when employees follow willingly the instructions of their supervisors and various rules of the company. Discipline is bad when employees either follow rules and regulations unwillingly or actually disobey them. Poor discipline advises the need of correction. For smooth functioning of an organization, for the maintenance of industrial peace, willing acceptance of rules and regulation, enhances efficiency and reduces costs, minimizes absenteeism and employee turnover, equipment is given better care and scrap losses decline. Employees gain a sense of security and safety. They work without fear of unfair penalty for misconduct that they could not otherwise expect. Their self-respect and respect for the company is preserved. The causes of indiscipline among workers are several and varied and can often be attributed to ignorance and illiteracy, non-compliance to the industrial culture, non-redress of grievances, lack of commitment to work, absence of occupational status, low wages, unfair labor practices, bad working conditions, and lack of effective personnel management practices. They may broadly be classified into causes related to the worker, causes related to the socio-cultural factors, causes related to the management practices, causes related to the work environment, commonly found discipline problems are attendance on the job behavior, dishonesty, outside activities, attendance. Managers face a serious disciplinary problem of attendance and they find that absenteeism, tardiness, abuse of sick leave, and other aspects of attendance are the most problems. Attendance appears to be even more widespread than carelessness in doing work, neglect of duty, and not following established procedures. On the job behaviors that cause problem or discipline for the management include insubordination, horseplay, fighting, gambling, failure to use safety devices, carelessness, abuse of alcohol and drugs, and dishonesty. Dishonesty has resulted in the most severe disciplinary action, although it is not a widespread employee problem. Activities that employees engage in outside of their work either affect on the job performance or generally reflect negatively on the organization's image. Unauthorized strike, having one's wages garnished, outside criminal activities, and working for a competing organization are such outside activities. Discipline generally follows a typical sequence of oral warning, written warning, suspension, dismissal, demotion, and pay cuts. The aim of oral warning is to help the employee correct his behavior by telling him that his undesirable conduct cannot be tolerated. Oral warning is the mildest form of discipline. If the oral warning is effective, further disciplinary action can be averted. If there is no improvement in the employee, more severe action will have to be considered by the manager. Written warning is the first formal stage of discipline procedure. The written warning becomes part of the employee's official file. The employee is advised of the violation, its effect, and potential consequences of future violations. Then the manager writes up the warning, stating the problem, the rule violated, any acknowledgement by the employee to correct his behavior, and the consequences from a recurrence of the deviant behavior. While written warnings are more severe, many organizations allow employees to purge their personnel files of these warnings after a period of time, usually 2 years of proper work behavior. If the oral and written reprimands have not achieved the desired outcomes, the next disciplinary action to be adopted is suspension. There are exceptions in case infraction of serious nature where suspension is given without any prior oral or written warning. The period of suspension may vary from case to case. Some organizations avoid suspension completely because it can have negative consequences for both the employee and the company. From the company's point of view, a suspension means the loss of the employee for the layoff period. If the person suspended has unique skills or is a vital part of a complex process, his loss during the suspension period may adversely affect on his department or the organization's performance if a suitable replacement cannot be located. The objective in adopting suspension as a disciplinary action is that a short layoff without pay has the potential to be a rude awakening to the problem employees. It may convince them that management is serious and shock them back to accepting responsibility for following the company's rules. Demotion as a disciplinary action may be adopted where suspension has not been effective and management desires to strongly avoid dismissing the problem employee. Pay cut is also rarely applied in practice. Pay cut means cutting the problem employee's pay. This disciplinary action has a demoralizing effect on the employee, but it has been suggested as a rational action by management if the only other alternative is dismissal. If dismissal is adopted, the management loses the individual employee's experience and background. Dismissal of the problem employee is management's ultimate disciplinary punishment. It is suggested that dismissal should be applied only to the most serious violations. Withholding of increment as a form of punishment is seldom used these days. Fines can be inflicted only for certain acts of omission and commission given in notices approved by the competent authority. A disciplinary action involves the steps including statement of disciplinary problems, collection of full information on the case, types of disciplinary action, choosing among the alternative penalties, application of the penalty, and following up the case. Various academicians and practitioners have suggested some general guidelines in administering discipline. Discipline should be corrective, discipline should be progressive, discipline should follow the hot stove rule. Friends, in this module you have studied the concept, the significance, the objectives of discipline, as well as the causes of indiscipline, the discipline problems, disciplinary action, the steps in disciplinary action, and the guidelines in administrative and the guidelines in administering discipline. Thanks for visiting EPG Pathshala.